Hey guys, Cody's Lab here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the beginning of moving this studio here, that is always in the backdrop of most of my videos, to another room in my house. And I figured for this topic, this action in my life, I would do an episodic series rather than, one video that's all edited and blah 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 blah. It's going to be a lot easier for me to do all this because it's going to be a lot of work. It's some in which I've already started, and put it in an episodic series with minimal editing so I could get it done quickly. So you guys already know the room that I record in. The curtains are new, but pretty small room. I managed to cram a lot in this tiny ass room. Most of it pictures of bands I like. But anyway, all my equipment, for the most part, recording equipment is in there. Now, I do have here, making a mess. There's, I have a bass amp here, guitar amp, this tape machine that doesn't necessarily need to be hooked up to my stereo system. And, throughout my house, I have other musical stuff. Obviously, the piano that's in my living room, that's actually going to be going in the current room that all my stuff is in. Piano's going to be moved to there. Just wait so I could have a living room, because right now that piano is literally in the middle of my living room and it sucks and I have to strain my neck to watch TV. But anyway, I have a storage rack in my old bedroom I grew up in. Right now it's a mess. It's usually way more organized. My life has been a gigantic mess. I also have this gym locker that I took from my neighbor's garbage. That right now it's full of books, but I think I'm going to utilize it for musical stuff like microphones and stuff like that. There's stuff here. Pay close attention to these stacks of patch bays. We're going to be talking a lot about that in this episode. And, a part of this series is I have so many people contact me asking me, how do I set up my board? How do I set up my tape machine? How do I set up, something along those lines? And it's a really difficult question to answer. It's almost like asking someone, what color should the flower on this painting be? What is the next chess move? Right? There's so many variables here. It's like a chess game. It's like, well, did you just start? How many moves are you in? What key pieces do you have, and what key pieces do they have? Right? There's so many goddamn variables. Now, setting up a studio, man, it's extremely, I would say, creative and flexible process, really. All right, I'm rambling a little bit here. Let's just talk about this room real quick. I'll get back to that in a second. So it is a room upstairs, and right now it's like half cleared out. This used to be a bed here. You can see the mattress still there. I have some air conditions there. These are my records that I've been selling, the LPs, for sale. This computer is going to be moved downstairs. Oh, what? What does that just mean? And you can see I have my 8-track here. This I haven't hooked up to anything in a long time. It's more or less been in storage. So anyway, big things are going to be happening, and there's going to be so many topics to touch upon in this video, in this series, which is why I wanted to make it episodic and do several installments. I already, just thinking out loud here, moving my recording space from where it used to be with the living room. Let's go down there real quick. Usually these two chairs and this pedestal thing is not here, but this used to be my live room, and that was more or less the control room. Now it's not really a control room because before we put these curtains there, it was a big opening. It was pretty much the same room except short ceiling and really tall ceilings here. But anyway, the acoustic environment here is going to be much, much more different than the acoustic environment I'm going to be in here. For the main reason that it's a closed room, and it's honestly, I don't know what to expect yet. Is it going to be more reverb, less reverb? Is there going to be echoes? There's so many questions that I don't have the answer to yet, and I'm not going to know until I have everything in the room, right? Obviously, an empty room is going to have a lot of reverberation because, you know, those sound waves aren't being absorbed by things in the room and diffused by things in the room. So yeah, from that standpoint, it's going to be really interesting. Now, the second thing about that is, for the first time, I'm actually going to have somewhat of a control room, right? Because I'm going to have all my recording gear in here. And then between that and the rest of the world, my living room, where there's plenty of open space, I have a door. This is going to open up a lot of possibilities for me, and it's going to make my life a lot easier. If I want to record, let's say, a guitar amp, and I keep the guitar amp out here, and I close this door, and I'm probably going to try to find a way to make that door as soundproof as possible and block as much sound as possible. I'm now finally able to monitor a microphone signal more or less isolated. Obviously, it's not ideal. I'm going to hear, there is going to be some noise coming through the door and the walls, obviously, but it's going to be, you know, much more isolation than I was getting downstairs with the open room. I was never able to really monitor a microphone signal accurately. Another thing is, when I do vocals, I'm now going to have a physical barrier between me and my tape machine, and that is really crucial because whenever I record vocals, unless I go like super far, but most of the times I'm just being lazy and I want to see the meters on my board, you could hear the tape machine whirring, what's the word? The tape being dragged across the head and the transport in my vocal recordings, and really anything quiet that I record. And like I said, most of the times, yeah, I could just move the microphone over into the farther room and get less of that tape machine noise. But I don't know. So I'm rushing, I'm lazy, I don't have the time, I don't know what to tell you, it just doesn't normally happen. Now, I'm pretty excited for this. This is going to be really interesting for me. It's going to be interesting if I do a live band setup with me and my friends, right? I'm going to have my drums in here, which the main thing is the drum sound. The drum sound I'm going to have to figure out. And, but, you know, I can put my drums in here now, and then out here, I could put the guitar amp, I could put a vocalist. Like I said, the possibilities are endless here. I'm getting really excited thinking about it. Another aspect is, for the first time, my recording space is not going to be in my living room. Now, take that statement as literally as you can. Like, my recording space is not going to be in my living room. This was basically part of my whole house, and that was detrimental for a couple reasons. One, I couldn't leave my stuff, you know, set up per se. Well, I guess I could have, but I always tried to clean up. This way my recording stuff was not in the middle of the living room. Now, when I get into an overdub session, I'll call it, and I'm just trying different instruments and throwing stuff and fucking Indiana Jones and fucking cables everywhere, like, it becomes a mess. And I'm having someone move in, my girlfriend is moving in, and it's like, even before she was moving in, when she was to come over, I was to always clean up. I would always make it look good, right? I want my living room to look good for people when they come in. They want to feel comfortable. I don't want it to be a goddamn mess of instruments everywhere. So part of this is going to be squeezing all of my instruments and basses all into this room. Instrument and basses. Why did I single out basses? I don't know. But the point is, one, there's really not as much space as you would initially assume, but I'm going to have to make it work. I lost my train of thought a little bit. What I was going to say was that now, you know, I'm going to be in a dedicated room meant for music recording, and I'll be able to leave my stuff out, and that's going to be less important for the recording portion. I don't mind cleaning up the recording studio. I think that's actually beneficial for you to do that. It keeps like the mind organized as well. But writing, you know, I'm going to be able to have my guitar amp, my bass amp, my keyboards already out. I should be able to go from instrument to instrument quickly. And I was talking about it with my friend Tim the other day, talking about, you know, if you have the right setup when you're writing or really doing anything, this could apply to anything in life. When you have your tools at your disposal in convenient locations and everything's set up and you don't have to reset up every time you want to do it, it is going to allow you to use your time more efficiently, right? You're not going to be spending a lot of your time setting up stuff. And a lot of the times, at least for me, sometimes I'm like, I'm playing guitar and I'm like, oh man, I have a great idea for a bass riff to go on top of this guitar. And then I start taking out my looper pedal and my cables, and before you know it, I'm on the floor, the cables are all crossed, they're knotted, everything's just a mess, and like, it's just not a good way to work. It is not an efficient way to write music either. I think it really does help to be organized, at least for me, when I'm, writing multiple instruments for a song. I don't know. I think this is probably long enough for a video, but the first episode of this video, well, I guess while we're talking, let's go downstairs. I'll show you what I already started. And really, these videos are probably going to be for people who are like the true subscribers or whatever, that like watch all of my videos. I don't know where my flip-flops are, but this is not going to be a fully watched video for a lot of people. That's okay, because I don't feel like editing this stuff out. So I'm in my garage now. Oh, dude, this angle makes me look like I have a double chin. Not ideal. Do you see that? That is a freshly made and painted desk with shelf, and that is going to be where my mixing board is going to go. And this is going to be beneficial for a couple reasons. One, a huge problem I have in the current room, let's go there and I'll show you, is that my wire management is a mess, and I'll show you exactly why. Here we are. All of my cables for all of my equipment, since this room is so small, is squeezed into like a 2-inch distance behind this desk. And this desk, this IKEA jerker, I think they call it, is extremely heavy with all this stuff, and I can't move the desk. When I have to get to a wire, and believe me, you have to get to a wire a lot more than you think. The 1/4-inch jacks and the RCAs, sometimes they just like lose a little stiffness, and you have to mess with them a little bit sometimes. But now I'm going to have it on that desk that I'm going to put sliding things on, you'll see. So I should be able to pull that desk out a lot easier, and that'll help me work on equipment much easier and patch things. And I'm not intending to do it a lot, but when I do need to move the desk, I'll be able to do that. Now, another important thing is, I don't know how much I've talked about it in these videos, but I bought this same mixer, but the 32-channel version instead of the 24-channel. Now, if you're wondering why I don't have that here, it's because this desk isn't big enough. That desk I built will be big enough for the 32-channel version of this board. I have that in a storage space right now. I'm going to be swapping them out soon. Now, that's going to open up so many possibilities. First, I'll be able to have my 16-track and my 8-track upstairs connected to the board at all times without having to patch different wires to places. I will also be able to utilize the 24-channel capability of my Alesis HD24. That is going to be awesome. I don't even know how often I'm going to use 24 channels. I like to limit myself to 16. I kind of think 16 channels is like a good compromise. But having the option will be nice. And I'll be able to have, when you have a 32-channel board, right, you could have all 24 channels going to your board, and you have 8 channels left over for whatever you need it to be. Microphones, return-ins. It's going to be great. I'm really excited. And yeah, I'm going to end this video because I could easily keep talking. There's so much to talk about with this topic, and I'm excited. I'll keep you guys updated, and we'll keep doing these episodes as I talk about things more clearly. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll try to answer them in the next video. All right, guys. I'm peacing.